calendar. We are now in the month of Muharram, and this is a month that is a sacred month. In fact, our Prophet ﷺ said that the best month to fast after that of Ramadan is Shahrullahil Muharram, the month of Allah al-Muharram. So notice, our Prophet ﷺ called Muharram the month of Allah, and no other month has been called Shahrullah other than Muharram. He literally called it Shahrullahil Muharram, the month of Allah Muharram. And therefore, this is of the highest honors that has been given to this month, and no other month in the Islamic calendar has been given this honor. This month of Muharram is one of the 4 sacred months, and in fact many of the Sahaba said it is the most sacred of the 4 months. Obviously Ramadan is the most sacred month of the year, but Ramadan is not of the 4 sacred haram months. And Muharram, many of the scholars said, is the most sacred of all of the, and it is a month where the Prophet ﷺ would fast regularly. And Ibn Abbas reported that I never saw the Prophet ﷺ more concerned about fasting than on the day of Ashura, and in the month of day in which a historical tragedy occurred, and that is the massacre of Hussein radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. That tragedy does not have anything to do with the sanctity of this day. It was a coincidence that it happened on that day. And the fact of the matter is that the death of Hussein is a historical tragedy, but the blessings of the 10th of Muharram and the fasting of the 10th of Muharram is separate to the historical tragedy that occurred coincidentally on the 10th of Muharram in a later year of the Hijrah, the massacre of Karbala. And unfortunately, people have taken this massacre to imply and to give meaning to Muharram. But Muharram was blessed and sacred before the massacre, and the massacre has nothing to do with the sanctity of the month and the fasting of the month. And Ashura was a day that was holy before Hussein was martyred on that day, and therefore we as Muslims, we take the 10th of Muharram not as a day of mourning, but as a day of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a day of ibadah, as a day where we are conscious of Allah even more, and we come close to Allah through our actions of worship